Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Uncle Vinny, Young Vince, joined by a very special guest today. We got the man in the house, Corey in the house, owner of Ase Juicery. Thank you for coming, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really appreciative of this opportunity.
Hell yeah, bro. Got a little gift for you. Put these stickers somewhere nice, you know?
Okay, so these are like decals?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like bumper stickers? Awesome.
Pretty much. We'll see some VVs around the city. There we go.
Hey, now you're talking.
Hell yeah, bro. So how's it going, man? I appreciate you coming out here.
No doubt. Yeah, it's going really well. Just business all the time, thinking of new ways to do what we do.
Absolutely, man. So for the viewers, a little context here. Was at an album listening party for Zargo. Shoutout Zargo. Vigilante alumni. And it was at a location that I didn't really know where I was going. I knew it was on Bloor. Go into this place called Ase Juicery, and it was a really dope retail space / juice spot. And saw Corey, found out he was the owner there. Got to talking, and here we are now. So I want you to talk a little bit about your spot, bro. Explain the Ase wave.
Well, it's a co-owner, me and my cousin. We started this company together, so big shout out to my cousin. And that night that you met us for the Zargo release party, that happened because another artist, Yuso, was doing his thing, like a release party for some of his songs. And Zargo showed up, and he wanted to also use our space to do his release. So that's how you met us there. That's how that whole thing happened.
Dope.
Yuso was go check out Yuso on Instagram. Make sense of it. And he came into the shop. He also does like deliveries around the city or whatever. So he came into the shop and saw the place and loved it. And I hope you like the interior as well.
Hell yeah, man. So that was your first event hosting, basically?
The Zargo was the second, and the Yuso was the first.
Nice.
Yeah. It was nice, and we hope to do more. So if anybody out there wants to do like a private, intimate kind of thing, they can also do that here.
Absolutely. Your location is awesome too. Yeah. Right on Bloor, such an iconic part of the city. Always stuff going on.
Yes, it's blessed. It's right on the subway line.
Yep.
So, people get off at Ossington or Dufferin, and we're right in between there. 982 Bloor Street West. And, it's Dover Court and Bloor, so like Bloor Court. And we just rep that all day, just rep the neighborhood. The neighborhood has so much love. It's so vibrant. So many people walking by. We're on the north side of Bloor, so we're getting that sun. We're facing south, so we get that all day sun. We got the plants in the shop. It's nice.
It's a very nice vibe, very cozy vibe. Absolutely, go check out the juicery. So before we even get into how you even got into the juicing stuff, because very curious about that, talk a little bit about yourself, kind of how you did you grow up in Toronto?
Yeah. So I was born in Toronto. Spent the first part of my years around Jane and Eglinton.
Mm-hmm.
And, grew up there for a couple of years. Then we moved south a little bit into like the Weston and Finch area.
Okay.
Then we moved over to the east end, like York, north, I'd say like York Mills area.
Yep.
And then when I was like 12, I went up to the suburbs north, right? And that was completely different, a lot slower pace. But it was cool. And, I've just been an artistic. I'm an artist, so I do paintings, portraiture, abstracts, all that. And went to school I went to Sheridan for advanced arts, and I made a living off of it. I traveled around a bit, just making a living off my art.
Nice, man.
Sketching people, selling it to them out east in like Nova Scotia, hitchhiking to Cape Breton Island, and just exploring my artistic side to see if I could be like not a starving artist, but like I was starving, you know.
That's super dope, man. I had no idea about that. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Was that an experience that you feel kind of shaped you? Was it like looking back on that time?
What shaped me was after college, I did a year of business and at Conestoga, and what shaped me was after that I went to Banff, Alberta, and I I went out there to like just see something new, you know, mountains, a different pace of life.
Right.
And it really shaped me. I mean, I grew spiritually, artistically, and just I grew tougher just because, you know, surviving out there. I got a job at Lush Handmade Cosmetics, you know, the Lush.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, smelling so good. I got a long-term rate at a motel in Banff. I was paying like $1,000 a month, me and my friend, to stay in a motel room. And it's crazy because you wake up, you go to work, you come back and the bed's made, the coffee and tea is restashed, you know, and the towels are all freshly washed and pressed. It was nice, you know, and that was in the wintertime. It was hard. And then I ran into like some trouble out there, like financially, you know, like just there's so much to do and just so little work, I guess you could say, because it's a small town. So I ended up coming back, and then so that really shaped me. I went to England for like a month to see a friend that I met in Banff, and that just kind of exposed me to a whole new, like the European kind of, you know, I flew to Amsterdam for like $90
Nice.
round trip, and that really just like opened my eyes to how a city could be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The European travel is always so interesting to me because an hour you could be in a completely different country. You know, in Canada, 4-hour flight, you're still in Canada.
Yeah,
you know,
I know. The same province.
Same province. Freaking Ontario's 20 hours deep, man.
Yeah,
it's so that's so always so funny to me. But I definitely feel you. That's something I've been learning lately too. Like sometimes changing your setting can really change you. You know, it definitely comes from within, but seeing different perspective, I think, absolutely is a huge factor.
Nailed it. I agree completely. You know, I came back here, worked, got a couple high-paying jobs. You know, I was like a real estate photographer, doing paintings, commissions on the side. I worked at a factory at nights, and I did some snow removal in the winter times to sustain myself. And you know, I had a daughter like 7 years ago. So, and you know, I went out to Africa with her to Malawi and Zimbabwe and Mozambique. We visited, and we stayed there for 6 months.
Holy.
When my daughter was 6 months old to a year, and we stayed with my with her mother's family, and it was like, you know, eye-opening, crazy. The way of life out there was insane. And I'm like an empath and a compassionate person by nature. And I created a lot of art out there. I worked on some album covers and stuff like that, but and auctioned some stuff off. But what was really cool about there is, you know, when you go to a third world, second world country, you're really like in high demand. I guess just because you're Canadian, you have the Canadian education, like pristine, top-of-the-line schools, technology. And I went there with my camera, and I ended up shooting music videos and trailers for you know, plays that were going to be performed. And I met up with a lady there from England, and she had opened up a school through a charity in Malawi. And I thought that was so cool. And so she was involved in getting hemp legalized.
Okay.
Because they're really against marijuana, but they don't know about hemp. They can't get you high, and it's really good for fabrics.
Yeah.
So they import all their fabrics. They're paying, you know, through the roof for all their fabrics. And so I actually worked with her to create music videos, informative pieces, the actual music video about like legalizing hemp.
Nice.
And I met a lot of people in high places, and it's hemp is now legal in Malawi, so they're able to sustain themselves a little bit better.
Nice, bro. You had a nice role in that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think so. You know, I mean, it was very minuscule, like 0.001, but just to like be a part of something, just to get an inside look.
Exactly.
It was eye opening, and I came back here with and a funny thing is that I bought a juicer. I bought my first juicer in 2011, and I had my daughter in 2015. And when we went to Malawi, I took my juicer with me because I said, fresh fruits and vegetables in abundance, right? So I took it there. I went everywhere with it. So, and now here I am today. But that's not the lead-up story. That's just like a background on who I am, I guess.
That's an unreal background, man. It's interesting, too. Before you took that trip, if someone had told you you'd play a role in legalizing hemp, you'd be doing all this stuff, it would have been wild. But now it's just part of your story. So cool. It's so cool to see that.
Very true. Yeah, I'm blessed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, that's amazing. So I do want to dive into the actual juice part of your life and the juice culture in general.
Yeah.
Something I'm very amateur. I don't know much about it at all. So you said 2011 you bought a juicer. Tell me kind of what led up to that, man. What was your juice inspiration?
Well, I was in college and I worked at the gym, and I was looking for like faster recovery time, and berries kept on coming up, right? And at that time I was like transitioning off of the meat.
Okay.
The red meat. I never really ate pork, but the red meat was gone, and then the fish, and then the chicken, and then the eggs, and then the milk, So it was like a transition over 2 years, and berries kept on coming up, so I started making like shakes in like a magic bullet every morning in college. And I noticed like a big difference in my energy levels, my ability to get back into the gym with just simple like mixed berries. And some spinach in there as well for some like iron and protein. And then I just kept on feeling better and better. And I was inspired on YouTube about all these like juicers, these people that make juice and live off juice. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to invest in one. And I spent like $450 on an Omega juicer. Yeah, a slow juicer. Yeah.
And that was the thing that kind of... That's cool. Because 2011 is still pretty early in the juicing game, right?
Yeah. It wasn't a big thing. I mean, juicing has been around since like, the 70s and stuff. But like they were all like fast juicers, and we can get into the difference between slow and fast. But there were so many moving parts. It was so hard to clean. And a lot of people just said, it's too much. It just collects dust underneath the counter. So.
It wasn't too practical for like at home regular use.
Yeah, unless you just absolutely loved it, or if you had like a medical condition or an ailment and you wanted to like heal,
right,
then you would be juicing. But now they got juicers, like slow juicers, that are simple, easy, 4 or 5 parts.
Technology, man.
Yeah,
evolution.
Yeah, that's right.
So you from that point, you're basically juicing every day. And by juicing, not talking steroids, we're talking this stuff right here.
Yeah.
So basically from that point, what's like a juicing like schedule for you, bro? Even from then to now.
Okay, well, morning juices, and I even like evening juicing, like when we're closed. It's peaceful, and I don't have to worry about like a customer coming in, which I love. But it's like I could just turn up the music and not have to like listen out for the door chime, and it's just like peaceful out there on the road. And but the morning is when I have like most energy. So, and we need like juice throughout the day. So when I bought my first juicer, I would wake up, put a carrot, apple, a lemon, piece of ginger down, and do my thing, go to work or whatever.
Right. It sounds cool to me because it's kind of like a ritual. If I feel like it's not just the actual juice, it's the vibes around it. I like that.
There's definitely a culture
Yeah.
around and growing around juice, and it's taking many different directions. I'm excited to see where it goes next. A lot of people might think, like, what is this guy talking about? It's just juice, you know what I mean? But really, I mean, the things that people are finding can be juiced or extracted. It's or how they're mixing things like charcoal. It's exciting, and you know, when I bought the juicer, it was just for me, and I started juicing for my sister, and because she wanted to like lose weight, and she brought it to work in mason jars, and her co-employees, they wanted something and they were willing to pay, and I wasn't making it. Maybe I'd make like $3 off of it. You know, I'd go buy retail, you know, from like Metro or Freshco, just whatever produce, take it back, juice it, and it would cost like $23, and I would sell it for like 25. You know, so. But one thing leads to another.
You kind of saw that there was some potential in it, you know.
My cousin Anthony, who you know is still my business partner to this day, and we do so well together because we're family, I guess.
Yeah.
And he said, yo, like, you know, you could sell this. And I used to always make him these like special peanut butter sandwiches that I still, you know, I'm not gonna share how I do it, but I always used to make them like really, really good. And he was like, yo, we could sell this sandwich and these juices in like just like a little truck or something, and we just roll around selling the you know, the food. And so we actually started out with a food truck.
No way.
Yeah, we started out wanting to be mobile, and that was a very big learning experience. People would call it a mistake, but because we learned it, it's now a lesson.
It's only a mistake if you don't learn from it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you learn from it, it's absolutely a lesson. Not to go too deep into that, but like what would you say was the biggest lesson you took from the food truck experiment?
To not stray from what you're doing. Like, take little steps. We thought, okay, people are buying a couple juices, let's get a truck, and now we're, you know, it's not like that. It's right. Be realistic. You know, the market is shifty out there. The supply chain is rough. So if you have a business and you have a format, whether it's like at home, try to think of like the least expensive but most effective way to grow that business, you know?
The natural scaling up.
Don't bite off more than you could chew. And we spent thousands. Thousands in the hole for that lesson.
Like you said, man, that is a lesson, because you can take it and improve on the next go.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, also we've learned a lot about that whole food truck game in the industry, and the permits and the fees that are needed, and the whole mess and the politics behind it all. So we actually just scaled it back, and we rented out a commercial kitchen, and I brought I got 2 Omega slow juicers on Kijiji, and like one was way up in like, you know, Blue Mountain or whatever. But we drove out for it because it was cheap. They're worth like, you know, $500, and we found it for like $100.
Those Kijiji deals are real, man.
Yeah, and it was like a wedding present, so It was brand new in the box. So we brought it to the commercial kitchen, and just, you know, we would rent out like a block of time, like 4 or 5, 6, 7 hours, and I'd go get the retail produce still at that point, and juice it all. No label, no seal, and distribute it out of our trunks.
DIY for real.
Yeah.
Man, I love that type of conversation. For anyone watching that, maybe a young entrepreneur doesn't know how to start, this is a great example of that. Just taking it slow, figuring out what do we want to make. Let's start that, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Figure out what you're good at,
yeah,
and then how to monetize it. Because if you're good at it and if you like it, then it's not really work.
Exactly. So one thing I want to ask you that was interesting. So you had the food truck, maybe didn't go the way you would have thought. Did you ever think of, you know what, this being my own boss, not for me. Let me go get a regular job.
Well, I've actually had to work on this journey. I still had good relationships with the people I used to do snow removal with.
Right.
And I also had a great job with a family friend, earth moving, so like excavation and stuff. And the pay was so great that I could really build this business and help with the bills and the rent and everything. And I'm so grateful to those bosses of mine that are actually my friends, my friends' dads, basically. And so anything like that, like really exploit your options, because people are really willing to give and see you succeed. And so, just because you have a business, don't think that you don't have to work. Keep building the business on the work hours. And when your business is pulling in more than your job, then you should quit. Or if the only thing holding your business back from being as successful as your job, then quit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very wise words, because that's also important for someone to hear, because you have experience. You've done this before. I think kind of like Instagram culture, it's like, oh, let's just try to make $1 million as fast as possible. And, for most people, it doesn't work that way, So having a job, having a regular income is always nice. And like you said, might be time one day, but be smart about it.
Definitely be smart about it. Yeah, you could lose everything.
That's real, man. Bills don't stop coming in.
The bills don't stop. In fact, you're going to have more bills once you get the business going. So, but it's hard. Business is hard. It's the hardest thing to do because you have to wake yourself up. Yes. You have to set your own meetings. You don't have a boss that can just fire you or threaten to fire you or give you a raise. When you do good, you're not always going to get a pat on the back. Your family's probably not going to believe in you, but they might support you, but they might not believe in you.
Yeah.
And you find the difference out. There's parents that go the extra mile, like Beyonce's parents or the Williams sisters' parents. They'll go above and beyond. And I would say for any parent out there, the best investment that you could be broke over and be living bill to bill because of the swimming classes, the ballet, whatever it is, it's your kids. We've failed tests, we've missed opportunities, we've slacked off in college, whatever it is, we didn't go, but we still invest thousands in ourselves thinking, hey, I got a shot. But a kid that is completely open, if you just sink everything into them, they will excel and set you free. Anyways, yes, when you are doing the business, it is the hardest thing to do, way harder than a job that you don't like. But at the same time, everything that you do is for you, and that's the payoff. It's obstacles and challenges that make the day different. It's what I like. I enjoy different days, different things.
Absolutely, man. The title of this is Versatile Vigilante, and your story already really shows that versatility,
Mm-hmm.
Little different. I relate to that. I'm kind of the same way. To me, that's what the fun part of life is, the day-to-day when you don't expect something and it happens. Let's work on this now,
Yeah.
I always like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, me too. It keeps it interesting.
So you're selling the bottles out of the car.
Yeah.
How long, what kind of, take me up to when you get the store. So we've covered the truck. Now you're selling them out of the car.
Okay.
Out of the trunk. That goes well?
Okay, so let me take you through this journey.
Please do.
Wow. Looking back on it, we had to rent out a commercial kitchen because we needed the health and safety standards.
Right.
I am a very, very, like, strict person when it comes to my kitchen and where I'm making juices, because you have to remember this juice isn't cooked. If I spit in it,
it's there.
It's there. The heat's not sizzling it away or killing the germs. So I've always had a mask on and a hairnet way before COVID. As soon as I get into the commercial kitchen, everybody, mask or no mask, it doesn't matter. Me, mask. Now, the commercial kitchen that we were in also was dealing with meat, right? It was anybody that needed a space.
Right.
So I would need to come in, and the first hour of the shift, I would spend, like, sanitizing everything. Everything. The sink, and it was like, they had a film for, and it's not like it's going to go into the juice. It's just the sink that I'm putting the produce in.
Yeah.
But just still, you know what I mean? So I had my own cutting boards, my own everything, tubs, everything. And I said, Anthony, my cousin, my partner, we're wasting money here. I'm here sanitizing. We need another spot. So we looked for a plant-based kitchen just to be safe. There was like 3. One of them had a cat in there, so they were like running around everything, and I was like, okay. But I found this other guy, his name was Lucas, and he did these vegan doubles, like Trinidadian doubles, and they were fire. I mean, they were the best doubles, period, I've ever had.
Doubles are fire.
Yeah, but this guy's was another level, and unfortunately, he's scaled back the business now. He's no longer operating, but that recipe is gold. Anyway, so we spent time there, and we were able to boost production because of the time not spent sanitizing, which minimized our costs, which raised profits. After we saw that it was going well, we actually got a van. We bought a van, and this was another example of biting off more than we could chew. We had the food truck. Scrap that. That was a rental. This was a van that we bought. We were thinking, we're gonna fill this up with coolers, and and there was times where we actually needed that much space. We would go to Caravana and sell waters just for a re-up.
Yeah.
So we would go to a business, like a wholesale place. You have to have a business, and we would get bottles of water for like $2, like a case, for $2, and go sell it at Caravana for like $1 each.
Yeah.
And I mean, that money just went to supplement the business and get a little boost, right? Buy more bottles, buy more whatever, get labels, because at that point we had no labels, and we were called the Juicy Waffle.
Juicy Waffle.
We were called the Juicy Waffle. We were gonna do waffles and juices, and so this is what I'm getting into is actually gonna teach a lot of young entrepreneurs about pivoting too.
Okay.
Off of what they want to do into what they need to do. So we're juicing out of this place, this vegan kitchen, just behind Brock Street, off of Bloor, and we were having such a great time, but then unfortunately he had to move out of the place, and so we lost access to the kitchen. Okay. We had to go. We had to like scale back everything. We took a year off. We rebranded. We stayed focused. We got jobs. We worked overtime, triple time. That's where I got all of the jobs I was telling you about. And we rebranded into what we are now, Ase. We went through so many names. We asked so many friends and family. I created the logo, and it felt like this was it. Like this. Just seeing this logo, it felt like this is now right here. We're official.
Right.
And so we were saying, man, we need a spot. We keep on renting out these kitchens. They're closing down. We need our own place. Maybe there's a place that we could share. And we manifested, because I believe heavily in manifestation. And we just knew we were going to get a spot. And so after a year hiatus, we found a lady who at Keel and Eglinton in Toronto that had like a juice smoothie wraps place that was like out of commission.
Yeah.
She had gotten overwhelmed. We made a little deal where we could come in, juice in that place, bolster the place up, and we could like, you know, kind of, I don't know, like share customers and whatever, right? Just whatever we had to do. And things were going good. We put thousands of dollars into renovation, and then the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, it was devastating. First of all, on Eglinton, as everybody knows, there was massive construction going on, and the school across the street just had burnt down. So all the students were gone. So businesses were hurting. We got in there thinking they're gonna rebuild it. The Eglinton is gonna be done soon, but it, you know, no.
To this day, still not.
To this day, right? And so, we had our doors open, hoping people would come in, but there was just nobody on the streets. You know what I mean? And luckily for us, we were already delivery based. So many businesses had to figure out how we're gonna do like curbside pickup and delivery. Uber like went through the roof, you know, skip the dishes. We already had a route stretching from Brampton, Mississauga, all the way up to Bradford and Newmarket.
Damn.
All the way east to Ajax and Oshawa. And so we had like a network that we would just be dropping juices off. And it was costly in the gas, but it turned over customers, right? You know, you're spending a lot at the beginning, but it pays off in the end, right? If it just be consistent.
Yeah, you're earning that customer loyalty, get their repeat business. That's a really interesting part of business too, where it's like you don't want just a one-time customer, you want repeat business. And to do that, you're right, yeah, you do have to spend money, but over time it'll recoup itself.
Yeah, it's so important. Returning customers, it's so important because they're the ones that are willing to go for the bigger deals.
Yeah,
they're the ones that they're gonna support you when you're having a slow week. You know, they're going to come in on their typical Wednesday. You know, it's a slow Wednesday as always, but at least we know Janice and Maurice are coming in.
Exactly. It's that stability.
It's that stability. And that's why customer service is so important, and quality. You know, we really praise ourselves on the quality of juice that we make, and also our customer service is really top notch. You know, I've had a lot of retail experience, and we really appreciate our customers because they don't have to buy this, right?
Yeah.
They could go buy a juicer and the produce and whatever else they need and make it at home. But a lot of people don't have time, and a lot of people are stressed out and just want something that tastes good.
Yeah.
And we actually encourage people to get their own juicers, which might sound counterintuitive, but the business landscape today is changing so much where, you know, if you're not supporting a cause, you're not going to, you know, bring in the loyalty from the customers. If you're not doing something for someone else, you know. So we really praise our customers, and we really encourage them to juice at home. But if they need a juice on the run, we are here.
That's real, man. You're kind of like their juice consultant.
Yeah. I do. We do consulting. You know,
Nice.
It's you know, it's a small fee. It's $40 an hour for a consultant. First half an hour is free, and you know, it's not something that we really heavily promote right now.
Right.
But I've done it in the past, and I get so excited talking about it. You know, how juice can remedy us, and so. So we were just, you know, really blessed to have this location where we could actually feel comfortable. Like, we come in to the spot on Keele and Eglinton, and everything is where we left it. We can make high quality juice, and then that's where we made our first real investment on our juicer that we use today.
Okay.
Big investment.
A big one.
Yeah.
So far, how has that been for you?
Well, you know, you gotta spend money to make money.
Yep.
And the juicers that I was making the juice off of, the Omega, they are home juicers, but they don't recommend you use it for over half an hour. So I had two.
Okay.
I had two going. I'd flick one on, juice it for half an hour, turn it off, let it chill for half an hour while this one's going.
Max them out.
Just max them out, and they were always stalling and backing up, and so I said, I said, Anthony, if we're gonna compete in this market, and I hate that word compete in a business sense, because we don't believe in competition. We find that the more variety there is, the more people come, not because they're competing, but because people like different things.
Yeah, I agree.
People like the home hardware where it's just a little tiny place where they can ask someone that looks like their grandpa or something, where to get a tool. Some people like the Home Depot where it's huge, you can't find anyone, where's the help? You know what I mean? So but no disrespect to Home Depot. I love y'all.
Shout out Home Depot. Let's get a sponsor too.
Yeah. I've depended on them and Home Hardware for all of our renovation costs.
There we go.
We could do it and they can help. We
sorry to interrupt, bro, but your point is interesting, because you're right. Like there should be a space for everybody. There's enough money for everyone to win. If you're winning and they're not winning, it sucks. If you're both doing well, it's sick.
Exactly. It doesn't help to grow the industry if someone loses, right? We got to understand that we got to be practical. We tell people that if you're in the East End, you can go get juice from Drink Juice Co. Drink Juice Co. I think their name is Drink Co. Right? Then there's juiceries in the West End, and if you want to be the best and put other juiceries out of business, then that means that less people have access to the juice, which means that less people in the East End that know people in your part of town are going to be able to recommend juice. So, people are very transient. It's a transient city. If we recommend juices to people in the East and that's growing, well, guess what? Juice lovers will now be used to seeing juice, buying juice, and when that happens and they travel to the West, guess what? They're going to stop in my place or someone else's.
That's that long-term vision where if you're just, I want to be the biggest and no one else, that's short-sighted, because for all the reasons you said. But the long-term, if the industry is strong, you're going to get some nice trickle down from that no matter what.
Exactly. And people appreciate so many different things. Some people want all organic. Some people want glass bottles. Some people want, pulp in their orange juice or something.
Pulp, no pulp.
Yeah. So like I said, you have to spend money to make money, and we spent a hefty amount on our juicer. It's a Good Nature X1 Mini. We, for the amount that we were pushing out and expecting to push out, we really wanted to have a high quality juicer that could handle the load and not overheat. So we got our Good Nature X1 Mini, and it was just that's what we still use today. And if you are a juice head, then the quality is it's the best juicer in the world. So we set up, we started making juice. We were delivering it to our whole delivery route. COVID hit. We still had all of our customers. Didn't have as much foot traffic as we were hoping for, but still had our deliveries. And then that ended about 9 months later, due to just differences about the future of what we were gonna do with the space. And but it worked out better for both of us. Now that person is doing better. They're an established location, and so we feel like we've helped. And we are doing our thing, and we are happy. So we moved. We actually had to take our heavy juicers. We also got a Zumo for citrus and pomegranates, which is heavy. And we had to move it all the way back to our aunt's house in Durham region. And juice there, drive. At the time I was living between Newmarket and Toronto, and I would drive all the way to Durham to make juice and then deliver it to where I said before.
Good for you, bro. You're really hustling, man.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a Scarface story with juice, bro. Like, I love that, man. I love that type of story.
Yeah.
Building it from the ground up. Say hello to my little friend. Hold that up to the camera again, bro. Come on. Look at these nice glass bottles, too.
Yeah.
Fire. That's the type of bottle you'll see in a Ase fridge.
Yes, or if you order on Uber, Skip the Dishes or Ritual, that's what you will receive. And also we have half size, so we have like 8 ounce. This is a 16 ounce, 500 milliliter. We also have 8 ounce, 250 milliliters, and we have a 4 ounce and 2 ounce shot for the shots, restorative shots. We can get into that. But we only had to spend about 3 months. Because we couldn't stop. We just couldn't stop. We knew that if we stopped, we would lose our customer base and they would go to other juice places or not at all. And so we didn't stop. And then thank God we found this place on Queen Street West, Queen and Gladstone.
Nice.
It was formerly the spot for the Remix project.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was like a staple in the community. A lot of people already knew about it. And we were blessed to be there. We met so many people there. We met Nise Brand clothing.
Yes. Shout
out to Nise Brand. And we also met Nation House Studios, which is it's like their sound engineering kind of like recording studio that you can go get your stuff mixed down, and it's proper. I mean, they treat you nice down there. Sounds are proper. And we it was like a shared space. And we all learned how to like navigate each other's business and learn about our business, making sales for each other, promoting each other, and it was a lovely thing. We had a disagreement with what the rest of the building was doing. Through the pandemic, because we had to be safe. We had to make sure that rules were being followed because this is a consumable product. And we just had to make sure that, again, the health and safety standards were up to par and couldn't be questioned. So we moved out of that space. And shout out to the people that own that space. We love y'all. Everything is gravy. But we just had to do that for ourselves, for our integrity. And then from there, we must have checked out. I personally have stepped into like 30 different commercial spaces around the city trying to find a place to go next.
Right.
We were scrambling. And we moved all of our equipment to a garage for like 3 weeks. And we were making no juice. And we found this place where we are now, 982 Bloor Street West, the best place we've ever been, by far. And it was a print shop, and it was gutted. There was nothing in there, no flooring. The flooring was crap. The walls weren't painted. There was holes everywhere. Thank God, one of my previous jobs was years experience in construction.
Nice.
This journey, I felt like the Slumdog Millionaire. Have you ever seen that movie, Slumdog?
Every event helped with a future event.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything that we did, me and my partner did in the past, it was put into use. The construction and everything, even to the snow removal, and just like not being shy or not being defeated by the amounts of snow that we can get. And, it never trapped us in. It never, stopped us. So that we moved in 2021 in May. And we renovated. And it took 3 months. We opened in like late July, August. And from there, it's just been go, go, go.
Amazing, bro.
It's just been amazing.
Amazing, man. I love the point you brought up about the Slumdog Millionaire, because sometimes I think it's human nature get caught up in what's happening right now. Like, oh, this is not going how I want. But down the line, it's going to actually really be useful for you. And you're going to remember, holy shit, that was a huge part of my life. Like,
you know what? You're so like accurate, in what you're saying. And, I agree. I resonate with everything you're saying. It is, when a lot of people think that they do something and then get something. And that's true in a cause and effect kind of way.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people don't realize that when they really want something and then their car breaks down and they're going for their dream and then, the funeral happens and the expense that you were so close to opening up your business, now you have to go fly out for this funeral, but then you meet someone there. And he advises you to someone else, and things happen because as long as you hold what you want to see your future as, or your present as, all these little obstacles, they're only going to be for that purpose. You know what I mean? And so you're so right. It prepares you. And so what's crazy is Nice Clothing and Nation House Studios. When we met them at Queen, we had such a good vibe that when we found this new spot, we said, "Yo, do you guys want to come with us?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, sign us up," right? So now you come into our store, you see clothes that are fire. I mean, handmade in Toronto, always new designs, and they're exclusive to the season. And then on the other side, you see our juice bar, and we offer healthy teas and coffees and soon gluten-free vegan treats and smoothies and iced teas and cold coffees and all that stuff. We're growing just baby steps. And downstairs is a recording studio, so we all mesh well. We're all black owned.
Nice.
It's 5 black male owners doing things that we've never done before in our family's history. So it's really exciting. It's really cool.
It is really cool, man. It's inspiring for someone like myself too. That's just I've got my own thing trying to grow. I don't think it matters what the product is or what the service is. I think it's the spirit, and to see someone like yourself and the names you mentioned really hustling, really out here. No matter what happens, let's keep going. I love that, man.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, or why start at all? You got to ask yourself, like, I put so much in. Am I just gonna quit? But you never quit. You just never quit. You just pivot. You pivot. We had to pivot. So many times. We're still pivoting. Like we got coconuts last year and we started selling them outside. We got 25 coconuts in a day. We sold out of them the same day. So now we're coconut sellers. You know what I mean? So
That's
it's
sweet.
Anything that you can do, we do in the realm, and that meets our standards of the juice. And maybe we can get into the juice and what goes into it, how we do it, because I think a lot of people are going to be impressed and excited to hear what we do.
Let's hear it, bro. Let's hear a little bit more about the current process right now of. Where do you actually make the juice? So you don't make them in the shop?
Yes,
you do?
Yes, we do. Okay. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to get into how we make the juice?
Well, you know what? Let's approach it like this way. Someone like myself who's got no knowledge of juicing, but it seems cool, How would you recommend like intro to juicing?
Okay, well, first of all, juicing is something that happens naturally when we chew fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
We're basically extracting the juice out of it so that it can go into our bloodstream and be used by our body. Now, the thing is if we don't chew it up enough, then it'll get sent down our digestive tract, and you'll maybe see some remnants of what you ate, right? And that's wasted nutrition right there, because it didn't fully get exposed, right? So juicing is a way to get nutrients quickly and efficiently into the body. So a lot of people that are experiencing like irritable bowel syndrome, cancer, that are on treatment and can't really take a big meal,
right?
Or people that are trying to clean their blood hemoglobin, for different procedures, they are often recommended to juice, because that way they're getting nutrients and it's not working their digestive system. People with Crohn's disease as well, right? So it's not meant to replace eating. It's meant to, if you're not getting a balanced meal, which, we're really not, most of us aren't.
Yeah.
Even if we do have the salads and everything, the steamed veggies and the rice and the brown rice and all that stuff, whole wheat bread, the soil that is grown in now, it's so mineral deficient.
Yeah.
So we look to get the maximum amount of nutrition into our bodies. Now that could mean you have a regular breakfast, whatever your breakfast looks like, your lunch, and then you have a juice and a dinner. The juice could or should include things that maybe you won't be able to get, maybe
Right.
turmeric raw ginger, raw lemon with the peel. So juicing became really popular with Max Gerson, who treated people with cancers with just like carrot juice and different types of like celery juice and celery carrot mixed with
Right.
lemon. And there's a whole like Max Gerson, it's called like the Gerson theory, and it just shows the efficacy or the power and ability for juice to heal the body. Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm someone that has a tough time eating breakfast. I don't know, like I'm not a morning person. I feel like a juice would be a nice, like you said, it doesn't replace a breakfast, but it's something,
Well, yeah. Well, some people's breakfasts are sausage and eggs,
Yeah.
and some people's breakfast is like a chia bowl.
Yeah.
The sausage and eggs, now, you could go without that as a breakfast,
Yeah.
and be fine. You could go without any breakfast and be fine. Juice, in that regard, in that spectrum, juice would make a good breakfast over the sausage and eggs.
Yeah.
And there could be some debate about that, about the nutrients, but you can get those nutrients later on in the day without the saturated fats and the cholesterol and stuff like that. So juicing is just, it's super clean. Like, there's no bad thing about it.
It doesn't hurt you at all. It's only going to help.
Right. And people that are worried about their insulin levels that have a juice, they could also just pair this juice with like, kale,
Right.
or like a dense like
It doesn't
rice
have
bowl.
to be super sweet.
Yeah. So basically when fruits have fiber in it, and fiber traps the sugar. And when we chew the fruit and it goes down our digestive tracts, it slowly lets out the sugar, not affecting our insulin
Right.
levels too much. But if we were just to completely bypass that and put this sugar into our bloodstream, a sensitive person, their insulin levels might spike.
Right.
Now, to balance that, we assume that people are eating. You had a salad, you had rice or something
Yeah.
like that, right? Potato or something. And like I said, if it's not meant to replace a meal, but if you were looking to do like a cleanse and let your body rest, juice is a really good option.
Might see me holding a juice bottle a little bit more frequently, man.
Maybe, yeah.
It's,
I think everybody should hold
I think
juice more frequently.
I agree, man. And also just like as you get older, I think you change a little bit, and maybe it's time to change the diet up too,
Oh yeah,
Body changes.
Yes, definitely. Like people eat what they eat for different reasons, or sometimes for no real reason at all. They don't really know why they're eating it, but we just my whole thing is just do the best you can.
Yep.
And never say no to healthy things. Like if someone offers you like a salad, like you should never say no, or water. You train yourself to just say yes to those healthy things, and maybe no to alcohol like in abundance, or that second piece of cake or whatever it is, right? So it's just about like saying no and yes and a good balance. And juice is a great way to incorporate that into your life. So whatever kind of diet you have, you know you're going to be getting the ketones, the manganese, the phosphates, the nitrates into your body, as well as the minerals. And
something for everyone, for sure.
Yeah.
That's real, man. Just out of curiosity, what kind of diet do you typically have? You said you don't really eat red meat.
So now I'm fully plant-based.
Nice.
No honey, no yogurt or milk or anything like that. And that's purely because of compassion. It's not fully out of health. I started out with the health, caring about my body and what goes in it. And I just, there was a lot of illnesses and ailments in my family, and people losing their life to things that they could completely, reverse if they just stopped eating a certain thing. A lot of, heart attacks and things like that. And I'm the kind of person that would always look up, remedies, natural remedies, something that you could find without side effects, like pills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, there was always a list, top 10 remedies to a healthy liver, top 5 for a healthy thyroid. And it was always seaweed, leafy greens for antioxidants, folate. It was always the deep red fruits, and I just kind of put two and two together. Wait, why aren't I seeing chicken? Number 2, heart. If you have a problematic heart, eat more chicken. Eat more bacon. And it struck me. I'm well then what would happen if we just ate that all the time and not the other stuff that aren't on the list? And everything from skin problems with milk. I mean, I see so many people with skin problems, and I urge them to try to get off the dairy. But there's so many things that could flourish in your body if we just remain on the foods that help the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's real, man. It's tough though, man. It's every day you see commercials, ads, fast food. It's definitely a business, big business.
Big, huge business. And 10 years ago when I started, there was nothing out there. It tasted like cardboard. Now there's Impossible, there's Beyond.
Yeah.
And it's better. It's better for the environment. It's better. It's easier for your body to digest, and it's healthier. And if we can spend some more years on this earth, with our grandkids, why not?
Feeling good too.
Feeling good and being mobile, yeah.
Hell yeah, man. So we spoke at I don't know how much you want to get into this. We spoke at the event. I remember you said you're an actor as well.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that too. I'm curious.
Okay, yeah. So I've always been an actor, in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The comedian, the
dramatic
audience. Well, it wasn't so much as that I liked the audience, but it was something that it was just natural for me to do, and I would get an audience. I love dancing and acting, and I made people laugh, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And so, it's funny. Okay, so in high school, my friend, he wants to be a director, and in high school, we would always ask if instead of an essay, if we could do a visual essay, a video essay, explaining what we've learned through a video media, and the cool teachers allowed us to do it, and that really just about cutting and syncing, and it was so fun, and I'm wow, if I could do this, that would be great. And so I never really had the courage to join drama club or anything like that. I always just kind of stuck to the sports and the arts, which alone is different.
Yeah.
But I was that sporty, arty guy, and I was always nice to everybody in high school. I always believed that everybody should have a good high school experience. Hated bullies, and after in college, I went to Sheridan, like I said, and that was a school of the arts. So performing arts and theatrical dancing and visual, audio, it was amazing. And that's where I met my friend who wanted to be a director. He went to Humber for directing, and him and other classmates were looking for actors, and I've always acted with him. And yeah, you can now catch me on IMDb. I've done a couple things. I've done like a 48-hour film challenges of Toronto, where you have 48 hours to make a movie that's like needs to have certain things in it. So that's like an experience in itself. Shout out to 48-hour film challenge. It's worldwide. And yeah, so I love acting, and it helps with the business, because we have to do reels and Instagram posts, and we have to be comfortable in front of the camera and able to do this and think on our toes. So I went to I did some improv acting, and it helped. And I hope to act more in the future. I mean, it's something that I really enjoy doing. It's specifically like Marvel stuff. Like,
okay, there you go. I can see that.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, you can see that.
Hell yeah.
I can see that too. What about you guys? You can see that? I can see that.
We'll put a poll up.
Yeah, put a poll.
What superhero should Corey play?
What villain should I be?
Villain only, yes. Yeah, villains always are the cooler, I have to say.
Yeah, don't say Black Panther.
Say the villain. But you know what, bro? I asked you that too because I think it's very valuable for anyone to have something else. Like, you got your business for sure, but it's nice to have another thing that you enjoy where you see potential in as well,
I'm blessed, I'm blessed to be able to do so many things, painting, photography, and just you name it. I'm up for anything. I'm up for the challenge. I'm a Leo. I'm very positive. My cousin is the most positive person that you'll ever meet. Nothing can get him down. When I'm down, he helps. Like, it's always good to have a support system in business. Someone that you could bounce ideas off of. Someone that could tell you when you're dumb and when you're smart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not take offense to it. And, being in this industry with juice and being such an astringent industry with just like how we take it anyway, with the masking and the hair protection, and, in the facility that we juice out of, I built a kitchen. Like, I put up walls and like doors that were wide, and put in sinks to code, and, we mop every night. And we even have like a mosquito mesh above us so that the flies and dust don't come in on our side.
Kind of like a filter.
Yeah, like a little filter that keeps the space clean. And that helps so much, it's like so much, because you could see it on top. Right? So we clean it up and stuff like that, but like you could see like how much would usually have fallen into our space. So yeah, and we do things like glass bottles. We do the best produce that we can, the best looking produce. I create all the flavors of the juice. So
little mad scientist.
Yeah, mad scientist. We get all of our produce. We weigh it out. I created the recipes that are specific to a weight, and we juice it down, and we keep our big container that we put the juice in. We keep them in like a big glass, like, urn. Okay, with like a dispenser. A lot of people use plastic, which it's like BPA free or whatever, but we just like the idea of glass on glass on glass.
Yeah.
So we put it in a big glass urn with a lid. We take it off. We put that urn in a mini fridge. That is staying cool as we take the cold produce out, chop it up, juice it. It's called cold press because by the time you're done making the juice, it's still cold from the fridge.
Right.
It doesn't heat up from the grinding or anything like that, like a blender could, or one of those old juicers. So it presses it. It's still cold. From there, we put it in. We take the jug out of the fridge, and we pour it in. Lid back on, back in the fridge. The juice the next little batch. Do the same process until we get enough. And then we juice it into the glass bottles that are sanitized, and we do like a bottle return, and we give 25 cents back a bottle.
Nice.
It helps us. It helps the environment, and then we sanitize it, and we refill them, and we immediately put them back into the fridge. when the whole batch is done, then we take them out, label them, seal them, and then put them into the display fridge in the front. Because it's not cooked, it's going to be losing nutrient value. The more it sits out, the more it's exposed to air.
Yeah.
It'll oxidize. So, I mean, it's basically the most you could do. It's the best you can get. It's going from the fridge to another fridge to another fridge. And so by the time you get it, it's super fresh, super tasty, and it tastes the same all the time. Yeah.
Man, if you're into juice or want to get into juice, please go see these guys, man. I've never heard a process that disciplined, that detailed. That's amazing, bro. I love it. But I mean, that shows the care you have in the product, man. The care you have in the product shows the care you have for the customer.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it for yourself for sure, but you also know people are paying money to buy this.
Yeah.
Hard-earned money. It's tough times out here. I want to make sure they're buying the best quality you could possibly buy.
Oh, 100%. There's a couple pounds, like 3 to 5 pounds of produce in our bottles, depending on the size of the bottles. It's raw. There's nothing added. Like, this is beet, pineapple, lemon, and ginger, and a little bit of reverse osmosis water. And to touch on the water thing, you know, have you ever seen, like, juice from concentrate? That means it's like been pressed down and like cooked, and it gets concentrated. The water's been evaporated out. But even if you don't cook it and you just juice it, there's a lot of water and air still left in the pulp. So when you juice a carrot or an apple, it's so much more potent and thick than you would if you were biting it. So adding water does a lot of things. It adds a more natural taste back into the product as if you had the water from the fibers.
Yeah.
B, it increases the surface area. So that your body can actually assimilate it better. The water helps spread it through the body and carry it further. So you're actually getting a better dose when there's a little bit of water in it. And also, it helps the hydration, and also it also helps stretch it out a little bit for juice companies. But it's so minuscule that it's not like you're getting a whole nother bottle.
Yeah, you can't say it's watered down.
No,
water's been added.
Yeah, exactly, and that is to again bring the more natural taste back, and the amount of little water that's used, it wouldn't create like a whole nother bottle for a profit. So it's natural. We don't put any honey, any sugar, any stabilizers. You can see the juices separating.
Yeah.
It gets the heavier, the calcium, the proteins are sinking to the bottom, the flavonoids, as the water with trace minerals are rising to the top.
Super interesting, man. Mm-hmm. This is like a science class, health class, business class.
Yes, yeah.
This is sick.
Yeah,
awesome.
Maybe you'll do like a juice fast like sometime soon. Like
I will,
3-day.
man. I will. I've never done any like diet thing before.
No fast, no kind of like.
Not really, not purposely.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting to that point where you gotta. When you're like 18, you could eat fucking pogos and shit all day, you get a little older, it's like, all right, man, I'm feeling it now. If I'm eating poorly, you feel it.
Yes, you do. And, it's funny. The first time I heard of fasting was from my friend. I think he was Iranian or Iraqi, Persian. He was Persian, so Iran, and they would fast. They would do the Ramadan. Yeah. And they couldn't do like just water, just air, no water, no nothing like that. So that would be considered like a dry fast or an intermittent fast because they're going to be eating at the nighttime. But there's the reason we fast is to let our digestive system cleanse itself. Yep. And the more you eat and the more you add on to the clogging of the colon, the worse you're going to feel. And, when we're young, our bones are full of so many minerals and we're alkaline. When we're babies, we're super alkaline. And the more we have acidic foods like pops and meats and sugars, the more our bones have to actually give up their alkaline nutrients to balance your blood, because your blood can only stay between like a 3.5, 3.7 range, right, of pH. So and your blood, like your body shifts everything to maintain the purity of the blood. What does that mean? That means that if you're eating like crazy, you might not feel it when you're young because your bones are giving you the minerals to buffer, compensate, and dilute it. But then what happens? We fracture our hip. You know, then we get a wrist break when we fall down. So, you know, what we take in the beginning, we feel in the end.
For sure.
And that's why you know, our demographics are like mid-20s to mid-30s. Typically women typically see doctors more. They have more of a relationship with a family doctor, so they're more concerned about their health. They have life in them all the time. In their ovaries, and they're very subconsciously aware of life and changes to their body. And so most of our customers are women. It's very nice to see when a man comes in, or anybody in between, you know, in that spectrum,
whatever.
Just taking care of their bodies and just like really listening to their bodies. And like I said, it doesn't replace food, but it's something that definitely tops it up. Now, if you're gonna do a fast, like a water fast might be great, you know, for 3 days. But if you're worrying about nutrient intake, potassium and electrolytes to stay alert and active, then juice is definitely the way to go. I mean, think about it. You're getting all the alkaline minerals plus tens of thousands of phytonutrients that we haven't even named scientifically yet. So we don't know what it does.
Yes,
but we know that if it's in the apple, it must be good, right?
Yeah.
Apple a day, right?
Yeah.
So we do these juice fasts and cleanses for people to let their digestive system work out what it's, you know, been backed up on for months and months, and to be able to just get the nutrients right in our body so we're alert and active and healthy, and able to eliminate old waste.
No, it makes sense to me, bro. It's one of those things where just gotta now put it in place. Let's actually try, you know. And enough talking about it. I gotta do this now. You know?
It's a big commitment. We do these wellness events. You can go check our Instagram page. Last summer we did a wine and wellness event only for the Instagram followers.
Nice.
And that. We take you out to the country, to wine country. We do a little wine tasting. We did yoga in the fresh air and the escarpment, and we all had juice. And it was just so empowering to, you know, have everybody around that was interested in the same kinds of things. And in the future, we will be doing retreats and things, so you don't have to fast alone. So
I love that type of stuff, man. Count me in for that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll send it. It's only for people following the page. So go follow Ase Juicery on Instagram. That's ASE Juicery. That's on Instagram. You'll probably put it up like right here or something.
I will, 100%. Maybe even right here.
Right there. Yeah.
Your Instagram's very good, by the way. Your reels are always good, always informative.
Thank you.
Colorful too, like actually, like physically colorful. I like that.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know, you got to get out there. You got to market yourself. Even if, you know, I never went to school for marketing, but you just gotta. People want to know what you're about, what you're doing, and if you follow the page, you know, every day or every other day, you'll see a reel or a story, just me explaining what we're doing today or what we have in stock or what's going on. Or just in general about juice and what's happening on Bloor.
Man.
So go follow the page. Definitely, you'll love what you see. I can guarantee it.
Follow Ase Juicery for sure.
Yes.
Go check it out on Bloor. Bloor is always fun, man. Go get a juice while you're there.
Hit us up.
I have one more question for you, bro. Actually, two more quick ones.
Yeah.
First, is there like a top selling flavor?
Okay, yeah, this one right here. This is Breath of Red. This is our top selling flavor. It's paired with green juices. So like we have a juice called Green Sweep. It's like it's a premium juice. This is a quality juice. It's got 4 or 5 ingredients if you include the water. The Green Sweep, it's like 6 or 7 ingredients if you include the water. So that juice, that premium juice, and this juice are our best sellers.
Nice.
But they're, you know, we're always creating new flavors that are, you know, rising in the ranks. Like the Midnight Magnet, it's a black juice. It's black because we add activated charcoal in it. It's a grapefruit, orange, lemon, and lime with charcoal. So
Sounds
it's
fire.
Oh, it's a citrus medley in your mouth, and what the charcoal does is it absorbs pathogens, microbes, heavy metals, and allows you to detox in a heavy metal sense. And the grapefruit in it and the citrus, they just melt all the cholesterol, the visceral fat, the fat and plaque from our arteries and veins.
It's a real potion.
Oh, it's
real potion,
yeah,
man.
it's
That's
real
that
life. It's life.
Space Jam secret. Remember that?
Yeah,
secret
that
stuff.
blue
That's what
water,
they were
but it was just
drinking.
water, right? Yeah.
That's what they were
You know,
drinking, man.
Yeah. You know, fruits they melt fat. You know, fruits melt fat. Mangoes, citrus, it just melts fat away. You know, so if anybody's experiencing like clogged arteries or heart problems, yeah, citrus.
That's good to know.
Yeah. What was
Really
the other
good to
question
know.
that you?
The other question that I had, actually, before I ask that question, what are your hours again? Tell the people.
Yeah, so weekdays is 9 to 8 p.m., 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. We hope to make it earlier. We want to open for like 8.
Nice.
Just to catch that morning crowd, because we do sell healthy coffee with reishi mushrooms infused in it. So you're going to have like, the mushrooms are non-psychedelic or anything. They're not going to get you, you know. They're just a very healthy mushroom, and it helps to relieve the jitters and anxiety that people get from coffee and the crash. So we sell coffees, and we want to get that morning rush, or be there for people that are hoping to switch from the coffee to fresh cold pressed juice in the morning.
Nice. Okay. And weekends is same hours, 9 to 8?
Weekends is 10 to 5.
10 to 5.
But we are going to be extending that later and earlier as well, because it's Bloor Street, and the life is continuing
Weather's
way
getting
past.
good, man.
Yeah, all into the night.
Streets,
so.
I hope the streets are very busy, man.
Me too.
Hell yeah. The other question I had for you was, your whole family like put onto the juicing now?
No, not really. I mean, they all are exposed to it through me and
Yeah.
know what they know because of me. But it's not like they are constantly putting in orders or anything like
Okay.
that. But we do try to, like, you know, when we make extra juice, you know, divvy it up between the family when we can. We're just so spread out. But definitely they support us. They watched it grow, you know, from a point of, I think, like you know, skepticism and disbelief to a point like they've seen us. Now we're on like one of the busiest streets in Toronto, and we've established ourselves as a quality juice brand that it's not going away anytime soon.
Hell yeah, man. When I went to your spot too, I would have been shocked if you had told me you opened up less than a year ago. Like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, oh yeah,
It
thank
has
you.
the
Yeah.
feel of like a staple, you know?
Oh, thank you. We feel right at home in the community, you know what I mean? And maybe that's what it is. It's just we've had the freedom to decorate the interior the way we want to, and set the vibe the way we want. Everything from the music that we play to the fresh aroma from the juice and the plants that you see in the store, you know? So,
Love
yeah,
it,
thank
bro.
you.
Hell yeah, man. Nah, really appreciate you having you in here. This was an awesome conversation. Is there
was great.
anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, drink more juice.
Drink more juice.
Drink more juice. Everybody out there, you know, follow us on the Instagram. Go to our website, ASEJUICERY.com. Come check us out at 982 Bloor Street West. And if you can't make it, try us on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, or Ritual. You know, Ase, it's a West African term from the Yoruba tribe, and it means so many different things, but one of the things that we really connected with was the ability to create or affect change from within.
Right.
And like we were talking about manifesting and, you know, seeing what you want. A lot of people say, I'll see it to believe it. You know, you got to see it to believe it. But if you really got to believe it to see it. It's the exact opposite. And as long as you believe, you can create that change that you want to see from within. And it made sense to us because the juice is going in your body, and it's going to help your blood. It's going to help your skin, your hair, your attitude. And so that's why our slogan is create change from within. It says it right on the bottle. And, you know, we're environmentally conscious, and we believe that if you want to do positive in this world, you know, you can. So, you know, I want to thank you for having me on this show too. I think that a lot of people out there just got a healthy dose of what, you know, juicing is all about.
I agree, man. This was like I said, business, spiritual. juice,
yes.
everything. What else do you need, you know?
Right, yeah.
Fire.
You don't need anything else but
That's
Ase
it, man.
Juicery, baby.
Shout out Ase Juicery. Shout out to Corey for coming through. Versatile Vigilante. Keep your eyes open for more fire. Like and subscribe, all that. Follow, you know. Let's go. Drink more juice. Gang, gang.
Thank you. Yes, peace.
Fire, bro.
Yo, man, that was great.